Okay, so this is now part 2 of making some more storage for the back of the Honda Africa Twin. So we made the plate that sits on the back. It's been used as it's a bit dirty. Now what we're going to do is make this into a storage space. When I put on, I've got a giant loop bag which comes out to over to here, this section here, and it sits probably about 60mm above the seat height, so it probably comes up to about there. Is free space, and up to here I can go up to 80 if I want to slope it back down to the 60, or if I keep it at 60. So quite a bit of space up here which I don't use as storage. And then if you took out the pillion seat, and that's the plan, that's the depth all up. So if I get a measuring tape, so all up I would estimate I'd probably get 130mm deep storage space. So I've made this cardboard template which will just matches the round shape of the back where the pillion seat sits in there. And just to start with, I've got some aluminium angle. It's 75mm or maybe 80mm, 75mm angle. And this is going to be the start of my base. And that'll sit into that channel. I'll just take the rider's seat off. So that'll sit into the channel. And I've cut a centre section out of aluminium. So I'm just about to weld this first piece up as the base. Obviously I've got where the seat locks in here, so this will be a section that'll actually go over, so I can still lock my seat in. And then up the front, I'll just turn the camera, and up the front section I've then got to square it across, and once the seat's all on, which it won't fit at this stage, I've got to match that profile of the seat leaning forward again. So as I say is, if you can imagine it on the seat now, is the storage in the top spot. Just roughly, you've still got another 60mm height up to here, which is now storage space. I'm considering whether to bend back this edge to overflow it, and that'll create that waterproof gutter. But I'll get this welded up first, and then I'll cut it out, and then we'll retest it and we'll make it up. So there's actually no plans, it's just make it as I go along. Once I've welded the base, then what I'll then do is obviously fill in the back section there, fill all that section around. Okay, so I've just got the piece clamped up into the position. I'm just going to put a couple of light tack welds on. Well, that's the plan. And then I'm not going to weld it all up till it's sort of all made up and braced, just to stop it from flexing. So we'll give this a go. Okay, so that's the just the tray tacked up, and now what we're going to do is this section here, we've got to cut out a section out of the base, so that'll fit over. So we'll put it in, we'll mark up, and then we'll cut that section out, and then we'll square across the front once we've done that part. Right, so we've roughly cut out the hole to take over to the seat mount and fit it in. So I don't think I can get the seat on at the moment. But you'll see it's getting close. Probably don't really have to do too much on this front section of the aluminium here. I'll just bring the camera on the other way. So as far as straightening up the front section, it's really just a straight cut along the front. And the seat's got to go back a bit, so it's probably only a couple of mils just to straighten it up. Okay, so I've just given it back a quick trim just to straighten it up, and then after just putting it back on, I was going to build a box section around here, but now I've just realised it's so thin here, that means I'd have to weld in those sections both on those sides, on the seams, and then weld a box over it. So I'm just going to cut this section out and just build the one box over it. So it's less welding, less chance for distortion. So I'll just slice this back out. And I'll give that a clean up, and then I'll just build one whole box section over that. I'll just show you what I mean back on the seat. Okay. Now I'll just say build that section over there, because that's where the fitting for the seat goes in. Okay, so I'm just going to put a slight cut back on here, so let's see if I can get the seat in, get a little bit closer. Eventually this bracket will match the profile of the seat, so I'll just start nibbling away at the base. Okay, so I've cut out just roughly both sections on the back of the seat here, just to leave enough gap. The seat's in the actual high position at the moment. As you can see, it's quite a bit of depth in there. It's probably got to come up about another 30mm higher by the time it's finished, and that'll be how much storage room I've got. Got to consider is that on both sides in here is that there's some form of drainage, so it drains away. There's currently no drainage on the Pillion seat, but as I say, I'll make this box section in here which will stop any water getting back into the electronics part. Okay, so when I made this section up initially just to fit, I just roughly bent around these edges. Because the plate sits on an angle, they sort of tilt in a little bit. So what I've done is I've just put through the ring roller a piece of aluminium. I'm going to slice this section out. I'm just going to tilt this back a little bit, and that'll be that hole infill section there. So I'll cut this out off camera, and then I'll tack it in, weld it in. Right, so I've welded in that section there, and I'm just giving it a quick file on the bottom, just for a bit of a radius on there. I might make a fiberglass mould off this, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about welding on the insides. The outside's fine for what I need to do. It fits in there. Start the camera off. So that's roughly its fitting spot there. So there's a bit of a gap up the back. That's what it looks like. Okay, so I've cut down the base tray down to 35mm height, and it's all the way around. Now what I'll do is I'll go cut the 75mm angle. I'll cut it so it comes out 20mm out, and then it'll go the 75 up, and that in total will give you my 60mm height, 60mm of space. So that sits in there. Now that's in there. That's the existing the lip. And why I'm coming out 20mm, so I wanted to come out, and then if any rain comes from the top, it comes on the outside of this gutter and doesn't go inside the electrics. So 20mm out, 75mm up, and then that's going to be all up. So I'll come back to here. That'll be bring it up to the 60mm above this top plate. So I'll get to cutting that angle. Rightio, so I've just made a bit of a design change into this, and I've made it actually shorter. I've cut off that much off the top. So the original design was going to sit up that slant off there, make a lockable lid, so it actually became a plate itself. Now what I'm going to do, it's going to keep it open. I'll put some drain in there. Going to put some pinch weld onto there, so that'll sit around the edge, and paint it black so it blends in. The other thing that I'm doing, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm actually in a bit of a rush at the moment to get it finished. So I've got a tank bag which actually fits in there, and that'll actually squash in there. And so it still gives me all the storage space that I needed. And then you can imagine the giant loop bags on the back, and if you can see it, I've still got plenty of seat space, and that'll actually get pulled down a bit more and pushed up the back. And when that giant loop bag's filled out, let's try and get that in so that everything's black. When that giant loop bag's actually filled out, it'll fill right up high. So that's all my storage at the back, nothing at the front. Right, so I'm just finishing off the front section here. So that's the original mount or lock for the back of the seat, for the main seat. This is all still got to be trimmed off to suit. So that'll sit in there. And I've just made this section here, which I'm just about to weld in. So that'll weld over. That'll be a cover to keep all the electrical area all dry. That'll get welded on. And then there'll be another plate welded over the front. And then the next step after that is to then finish off this front section and seal that up. I've got to be mindful that to trim it so it'll allow that when there's compression on the seat, it's not pushing in. It'll be a close fit, but it won't be where it's rubbing and cutting into the seat. So the step now is to set this up and weld this section on. Okay, so I've finished welding this section in that goes over the seat latch. That's up to the top. Plenty of clearance underneath, under the bottom there. And I've just blended in all the welds so it doesn't rub on the bag or make any cut. And then that'll go onto there. Now the next part is to put in this front section here, just to seal it off. And we'll get onto that. Okay, just for the purpose of mounting and fitting, I'll put some rubber feet onto the base. They match where the original rubber feet were from the Pillion seat, and that's just to space it out. I've also just tacked on just the two front mounting bolt tabs, and like the original factory setup, I'm going to use the similar hooks that are in the back here. Just haven't put those on yet. So I've just got that tacked up now, ready to go, and the next part is to make this front section in here. So I've cut out a rough shape. It's going to fit into there, and obviously once that's welded on, then I'll finish up this edge here. Obviously follow the contour of the seat, and that's the next step in. So I'll just go weld this section in now. Okay, so what I've now done is I've made the rear locking tabs. Instead of welding them on, you just screw it in with an eye lock nut on the inside, which just needs to be cleaned up. The front tabs are on and drilled. It all fits up now. So those screws line in the front and the seat. and the seat fits up nice. It's matching the curve. So I'll just get a measuring, or I'll just get a ruler. So this is how much I've gained, which is the 80mm. And as I say, I'm going to use the tank bag in there, which will give me the 80mm down plus what's on the top, which is plenty. Or if I'm just going on different rides, I can put my tool case in. Right, so just finish off just putting in 2 drains, one on each side. Those drains will go down to the side channel and away from everything altogether. So now I'll just give it a clean and then paint. So here it is. Here's the final product. It's just been painted black. On the rear section here, it's got a pinch weld just to cover up the edge. On the side section, the same thing. It's a pinch weld, but it's got a sponge top on it, just to soften up that edge there. It's got the spacers, which are in the same position as the original Pillion seat. It's got the locks in there, so it locks in the original lock tabs. And it's got the original, uses the original front bolt lock holes. As I showed previously, there's the drains. There's a drain each side that go down into the channels to get away most of the water out of the bike. Obviously it's a bucket, so it will fill with water, but if you're on a motorbike anyway, anything's going to get wet unless you cover it up, so that's the plan. Did it meet what I wanted to do? Yes, it gave me the 80mm depth that I wanted, which is that Pillion seat, which is all that wasted space. If I didn't have a aftermarket fuse box and a relay in there for some other stuff, probably got another 10-20 mils out of it. Would I change it in the future? Yes. In the future, I'd actually just build a plate, which is actually the feet height, and a plate just a little bit wider, so it actually fills the gap, and then just put pinch weld. That would give me, again, 80mm, but it'd give me a slightly wider width there. I've lost probably, going crossways in that space there, I've probably lost 20 or 30mm. It'll roughly give me probably 15mm across. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're using like a tank bag, which sounds strange, but if you use a tank bag in there, it fits perfect in that space. So it'll be a lot simpler to make, because all it really is just one plate straight across, apart from that section there, and then you've got yourself quite a bit extra space and packing height on your bike. Anyway, so it's time now just to fit that into the bike for the final time, and then I'm off on a trip. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so there's the finished product on the bike now. As you can see, it matches the profile of the bike. Doesn't look too ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. Once the bags are on it, you're never going to see it anyway. So just from a couple of different angles. And probably what I'll do is I'll put lay my tools out in the bottom there. So the tools will go in the bottom, and then the bag will go over the top, so the tools will fill this bottom lower section up here. And then I'll set the bag on, and I'll put on the tail bag on the back. That's it. So that's making use of that Pillion seat that I don't use. And worst comes an emergency, you can still sit on it.